again, this is Professor Keys, and today we're going to talk about how you can get your student loans forgiven in exchange for owning a home. Now, I know some of y'all already feel like you're paying for a mortgage, especially when you're living at home with mom and dad, probably paying $10 or $15 so they could buy some string beans and some chicken, but paying Sally Mae and Freddie Mac $1,500 just so that they won't put you in what? Default. Today, we are going to talk about how you can buy a home in exchange for having certain states pay off your student loan debt entirely. But before we get started, I want you to do Professor Keys a favor. Can you kiss the like button with your finger? Your girl is trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of June. With that, first up is the state of Illinois, which has a $25 million program which offers up to $40,000 in student loan forgiveness in exchange for getting a mortgage in the state. Illinois is a trailblazer because they are the first state in all of the United States of America to offer this type of program. So let's get into the details, shall we? The name of Illinois' program is called the Smart Buy Program, and they provide $5,000 in closing cost assistance. Additionally, they will pay off your student loan debt up to 15% of your purchase home price. Okay, so that means if you buy a home for $200,000, they can pay up to $30,000 in student loan debt relief. Now, there are some stipulations. You have to at least have $1,000 in student loan debt. Now, I know some of y'all heard that and you rolled your eyes. You were like, girl, if I had $1,000 in student loan debt assistance, listen, I would skip my next braid appointment, right? Skip my next lace front appointment and become student loan debt free because all of those dollars would go towards that. However, most folks have in the 5 figures. So you have to have at least $1,000 in student loan debt. And also at the closing table, whatever assistance they provide to you, it has to pay off your entire student loan. So that means if you have $40,000 in student loan and you only qualify for up to $30,000 in student loan assistance through the Illinois Smart Buy program, when you come to the closing table, you have to bring the balance of $10,000. Now, your credit score must be 640 or higher. So if you're in trouble with your credit, go see my other video. The link is in the bio that gives you practical tips on how to raise your credit score by 100 points in 90 days. Additionally, you must be a new home buyer. So if you are already living in your home and you're in the state of Illinois and you just found out about this program and you have been paying your mortgage back every single month on what? On time, really on WP time, wealthy people's time, not BP time, which is broke people's time. Unfortunately, if you already are a homeowner, you do not qualify. But if you are looking for a home and you are a first-time home buyer, which can be defined in many different ways, then perhaps this program may qualify for you. Also, the total loan debt must be covered by at least one borrower. So I know that there are married couples and there are couples that are in love and buying property together, right, for the first time who are like, well, which one of us will qualify or do both of us qualify? Well, if both of you all have student loans and it exceeds the maximum benefit, right, you're going to have to choose which one of you all benefits from this program, right? Because you have to come to the closing table and whoever that person is, your total student loans has to be covered by the benefit. So again, let's go back to our example, $200,000 house, up to $30,000 in relief. That means one of the 2 borrowers has to qualify for this benefit. And what some couples do is they move into the house. One person, now being student loan debt free, can now begin to budget to make sure that their boo thing, right, can get to the same space and place. Let's keep going. Another element of this program is that you have to use one of IHDA's or Illinois Housing Department Authority's lenders. According to a recent article, they have 3 dozen lenders, right? So 12 times 3, that's 36 probably plus lenders who can assist you with qualifying for this program. You also must have attended an eligible accredited college or university. So make sure you check that list and ensure that your educational educational institution from which you received that degree, or at least received that student loan debt. It doesn't mean you have to graduate, right? It just means that you have to have debt from this institution. Make sure that they are on that list. New construction is 100% allowed, so perhaps you went searching near and far, right, for your perfect dream home, and you decided to get it built from the foundation up. That means that you could qualify. And it also must be your primary residence. So this is not for those folks who are looking for investment properties, okay? So you have to buy the house, and you also have to live in the house. There are income and also purchase price limits, okay? So you can make up to a certain amount in order to qualify for this program. And you're gonna have to make sure to check this particular link in order to figure out what those restrictions are, because they vary from county to county across the state of Illinois, and they also vary depending on how much house you wanna afford. Now, as of today, this program is closed, but to my knowledge, it's going to reopen annually. Again, they have about $25 million to allocate to this program. It goes quick, so you definitely want to make sure that you're on the website on time when it opens, so you could be one of the individuals that gets an opportunity to own a home and move in student loan debt free. Let's go on to the next state. Next up is the state of Maryland. And if you were born and raised in Maryland, you already know you're listening to this video and you're like, girl, it is not Maryland, it is Maryland, okay? So Maryland's program is named the Smart Buy program as well. And it was modeled after the state of Illinois. So here's the tea on the Maryland Smart Buy program. It was piloted by Governor Larry Hogan, and to date, it has helped homeowners pay off $7 million in student loan debt. And the fiscal 2020 budget allocated $6 million to keep the program going, because over $47 million in mortgages were lent out to folks who wanted to own home but move in student loan debt free. I will never get tired of saying that. So for 2021, which is the year in which this video is being recorded, the program has reopened again, and you definitely want to get in before funds are exhausted. Now, the thing about Maryland Smart Buy program is that there are certain properties that you can purchase. So you definitely want to get on the website and see what those are. In the past, it has been homes that have been foreclosed on, but since then, the restrictions have been a little bit relaxed, and there's more homes in inventory that you can buy. So let's get into the requirements, shall we? Now, they do provide down payment and closing cost assistance up to $5,000 in a deferred mortgage, but you have to bring at least 5% of the down payment cost, right? So if your house costs $200,000, that means you have to bring 5% of that amount. The Maryland Smart Buy program will also pay off your student loan debt up to 15% of the home purchase price up to $30,000. So what that means is we will bring in that example of if you purchased a $200,000 home, 15% of that purchase price is $30,000, which is the maximum benefit that you can get with this program. So if you bought a $100,000 house in Maryland, that means that they would pay up to $15,000, okay? You must also have at least $1,000 in student loan debt, which a lot of us will easily, right, clear that hurdle. Also, you must be a first-time home buyer. And again, for many states, first-time home buyer is described in many different ways. So in some states, first-time home buyer may be that you have bought a home in the past. However, you have not owned a home in several years, and now this is your first time back in the home buyer's market. It also says that you cannot own any real property anywhere, and on the website it is in all caps. So when I read that, I read it anywhere at the time of closing. Y'all don't play with Maryland, okay? Oh, excuse me, Merlin. You must have a 720 credit score or higher. So again, if you need credit help, I offered some assistance in the video. Look down in my bio, click that video. Within the first 10 minutes, I share with you how to boost your credit score 100 points in 90 days. You must be 18 and also have a social security number, but that does not mean that you have to be a U.S. citizen, all right? Also, they have income restrictions that range between $92,000 all the way up to $154,000. But again, this will shift and change depending on what county you live in Maryland. So you definitely want to make sure that you check this website in order to ensure that you qualify. This program offers you 2 loans. So let's break it down. The first loan is your conventional loan. This is a loan to purchase your house. And then there's a second forgivable loan, which covers the price of whatever your student loan forgiveness was, up to 50% of the home price. This loan is forgiven at 20% a year for up to 5 years. And you do not have to make any payments on it unless you do not meet the eligibility requirements of the program. So what does that mean? For 5 years, be on your best behavior, okay? So after 5 years, your student loan debt can be out of here and you can focus on just paying for your house. So next up is the state of Ohio, which has a program called Grants for Grads. So they are sending a shout out to those folks who graduated in the form of providing down payment assistance between 2.5 and 5%. Now this down payment assistance will be available to you at the closing table, but it will be forgiven over 5 years as long as you meet the eligibility requirements. So with that, I know you're like, Keys, you can't tell us that and not tell us how we qualify. So let's jump into it, shall we? Okay. So this particular gift is brought to you by the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, OHFA. OHFA. Okay, Keys, focus. In order to qualify for this program, you must not own or have owned a home within the past 3 years. Also, they do have purchase and income restrictions. So it's very vast. So you definitely want to make sure to click this link to see exactly what they are. They do have credit score requirements. So you have to have at least a 640 credit score, and depending on which loan you get, it might be a 650 credit score. Additionally, you must meet their debt to income ratio threshold. So for most states, it's 45%, but for the state of Ohio, it might be different, and it may change from year to year. So you definitely want to make sure that you go to their site and see how much debt you have right now compared to how much income you earn and how that may qualify or not you for this program. Finally, in order to qualify for this program, you must have graduated within the last 48 months. All right, so if you're doing the math like me, 12 times 4, carry the 1, carry the 2, that is 4 years. All right, so you must have graduated within the last 48 months from an accredited institution and received your associate's, bachelor's, grad degree, doctoral degree, postdoctoral degree, right? So they're trying to get all the degrees up in there, right? So they're trying to pay off all the degrees. So, well, they're not trying to pay off the degrees, but if you earned a degree, they are trying to at least help you with down payment assistance, which is a huge win because that helps people like you and I get access, right, to becoming homeowners. Let's move on to the next state, shall we? Let's talk about Rhode Island. We're talking about Rhode Island. Now, all across the internet, right? I have seen that there has been the Ocean State Grad Grant Program that was promulgated between the years of 2015 and 2019. And this particular program offered $7,000 in down payment assistance to recent college graduates within certain income restrictions. I have searched far and wide on Google and Yahoo and Bing, and I have not found anything about this program. But recently, right, for 2021, which is the year in which this particular video is being recorded. But what I did find was even better news. Rhode Island Housing provides assistance for first-time home buyers who may or may not have student loan debt. So let's talk about it because I thought that the program was really, really, really cool. So they provide assistance assistance to folks looking for 1 to 4 family homes. So I had to Google that, right? 1 to 4 family homes. What that means is that 1 to 4 individual dwelling units. So that could mean that you're purchasing a single family home for yourself, or a duplex, or even a fourplex, which is great for those individuals who want to be first-time home buyers, live in their home, but then also rent other spaces and places within their property out to other individuals. You also must have a minimum credit score of at least 620. Let's talk about terms and conditions. RI Housing will pay up to 6% of your home purchase price up to $15,000, whichever is greater, in down payment assistance or closing cost assistance, right? So let's keep going with our $200,000 house, right? So if you're buying a $200,000 house in Rhode Island, 6% of your closing costs would mean $12,000, and that is no small amount. Okay. Now, this assistance does come in the form of an extra assistance loan, and what that means is that you do have to pay it back, and you do have to pay it back with interest, but the interest rate is more than likely going to be the same interest rate that you get on your first mortgage, which is the mortgage, of course, that purchases the home, with this extra assistance loan being your down payment assistance. There are no charges, there's also no fees, but they do put a second lien on your home. What they're trying to do is help first-time home buyers get into their home and really clear the hurdle of down payment assistance, which can be extremely expensive and preventative to those folks who want to become homeowners. So that's Rhode Island. Again, I've been searching the internets, right, for the Grants for Grads program through Rhode Island, and what I found is that in 2021, I don't see the $7,000 that was offered. So the last few programs that I mentioned were created in order to help folks pay off their student loan debt in exchange for a mortgage, or at least help you with your down payment assistance if you are a recent college graduate. The next few programs that I'm going to mention to you, I'm going to go pretty quick, so we'll probably take about 10 minutes talking about it, but the next few programs that I'm going to mention can provide assistance, but not necessarily in exchange for buying a home. So these particular programs will help you pay down your student loan debt as long as you meet requirements. To be completely forthcoming, these programs are for people who are in the healthcare field, okay? And these are individuals who are in the healthcare field who are willing to serve in areas where there are shortages of medical professionals. This ranges from doctors to dentists to physician assistants to anesthesiologists to mental health professionals to nurses, registered nurses, LPNs, etc. So again, stay tuned. I'm going to go through these programs really fast. First up is Michigan. Michigan has a state loan repayment program which will pay off up to $2,000 in student loans for primary medical, dental, and mental health care providers that serve in areas where there is a shortage of healthcare professionals and not-for-profit clinics. Now, as of today, in recording this video, you can apply for this program by October 1st, and you must not be defaulting on any of your loans. You can find the link in my bio to apply. Next up is the state of Delaware. The state of Delaware will provide up to $100,000 in student loan repayment assistance for primary medical, dental, and mental health care providers in exchange for you working in areas where there is a shortage of healthcare professionals. Now, there are some specific eligibility requirements in order to qualify for this program. The loans must be solely in your name, so you cannot share those loans with anybody else. You also must not have defaulted on your loans, so they must be current. They will not cover personal lines of credit. So let's say you use your credit card in order to pay for your student loans. You do not qualify. And for this particular program, the applications open in March and September. I have left the link where, you guys, down in the description. And if you are still watching this video and you have not hit like, you are getting free game. And all I'm asking is that you kiss the like button. Let's keep going. The next state is Georgia. Oh, sweet Georgia is on my mind. Come on, beat those vocals. Okay, I know I can't sing, but let's get to the program. So the program is entitled the Physicians for Rural Assistance Program, and it provides up to $25,000 each year for 4 years for a total of up to $100,000 in student loan repayment assistance. In exchange for gaining access to this program, you must be a physician that serves in the rural counties of Georgia. You must work 40 hours a week, and 32 hours cannot be behind your desk, but 32 hours must be in contact with your patients. Now, for those of you all who may be moving from Brooklyn to Atlanta, you might be like, well, Atlanta feels a little rural to me. All tea, all shade. Right? No tea, no shade. Yes, all tea, all shade. You might be like, Brooklyn got 1 million people, Atlanta got 500,000 people. Feels rural to me. Well, rural to Georgia, the state of Georgia, means that it's communities of folks that have 35,000 people or fewer. Now, here are some of the requirements. It's a renewable loan, again, up to $25,000 every year for 4 years. The application period is between September 1st and December 1st. And also, if you're not a physician, loans that are less than this amount are also available to dentists and nurses and physician's assistants. You definitely want to click the link in my bio in order to see all of the different funding opportunities that are available for healthcare providers, which we need. We love you. Keep taking care of us. We want to live what? A long, long life. Finally is California. Hey, time to party. Hey, California, it's time to party. Where's Tupac? I know some of y'all still think he's left. So for the state of California, they will provide up to $50,000 in student loan repayment forgiveness, right? Did I say that right? They will provide up to $50,000 in student loan payment forgiveness for medical professionals who work in underserved areas. And you can work for a public entity or you can work for a not-for-profit entity. Now, it's not just for doctors, okay? It's for a plethora of medical healthcare professionals. And going on their website, they ask you to take an eligibility quiz, and depending on your answers, they match you with the appropriate program. The great thing about this quiz is that it will get all in your business. Are you in school and graduating soon? Have you graduated and are you current on your loans? What type of loans do you have? In fact, I think this quiz is revolutionary because it helps you not waste your time completing an application for a program for which you do not qualify. So again, if you work in the medical industry, physician's assistants, anesthesiologists, nurses, doctors, dentists, mental health care providers, make sure to check out California. Hey, time to party. Hey! So that concludes my presentation. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about how you can start a nonprofit organization and qualify yourself for student loan forgiveness. If you've made it this far, do not forget to kiss the like button with your finger. Your girl is trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of June.